Alright everyone, let's talk food. If you are what you eat, then it's important to know exactly what you're eating. So let's look. Plain old water bottle. Natural spring water. That's it. One ingredient. Okay. Emerald cocoa roast almonds. Dark chocolate. Dry roasted almonds. Modified food starch. Natural and artificial flavors. Cocoa powder. Salt. Potassium. Sucralose. And contains almonds. And last, Lay's stacks, sour cream and onion. Dried potatoes, vegetable oil. Let's see, sunflower and or corn oil, unmodified potato starch, rice flour, and less than 2% of the following: sugar, salt, mono and diglycerides, dextrose, skim milk, soy lecithin, onion powder, whey, monosodium, glutamine, cornstarch, sour cream, artificial flavor, malic acid, citric acid, cheddar cheese, corn syrup solids, buttermilk, artificial color, disodium, inosite, and disodium guanylate. So, let's be honest. It doesn't seem that anything connects these three different foods. But what connects them is not on the label. It's not even listed in the ingredient list. And that's BPA, or bisphenol A. Now, according to the CDC, bisphenol A can be detected in over 90% of Americans. Recent studies, which was in 2011, actually said it was 93%. Excuse me. So the thing is, most people don't even know what this is, and every single one of us is almost guaranteed to have it in us. We don't even know how it got into our food. So, in my speech, I'm going to talk about what this chemical BPA is, why it's a concern for us, and offer suggestions on how we can avoid it. Now, in 2010, the FTC concluded that there was some concern for the effects of BPA on the human body. Looking at BPA, you can understand why. It's a man-made, petroleum-based chemical that is used in the production of plastics. Now, to really understand that, we need to break this down. First off, it's man-made, meaning there's nothing natural about this chemical BPA. In fact, Frederick von Sauer, who's a researcher of BPA at Yale University, says that unlike the natural hormones that are degraded almost immediately in the stomach, BPA is highly absorbed. We'll get to the hormone part later. But first, notice that even little amounts of exposure will affect the body in huge ways. The second statement is petroleum-based. Now, petroleum is the thing we fill our cars up with, and we're talking gasoline. So if you wouldn't go and chug a gallon of gasoline, why is it in all of our food? See, the big problem is that 6 billion pounds of 6 billion pounds of BPA is produced each year. And we haven't even looked into the major research. Now, none of this would be a problem with BPA if it just stayed where it was supposed to. But the problem is it's in the production of plastics. And plastics, though they are a wonderful thing, do not stay, how do I put it? They always leach. The molecules that hold them start to break down and will leach out. And when that happens, that's how BPA cross-contaminates our food. And here's the thing. Plastics are absolutely everywhere. They are in our freezers, as you can see up there. That's the Owen Lobby freezer. And just notice how much, notice how much plastic is in there. Let me try to fly it for you. You can hardly get to any type of food that isn't contaminated with the plastic. And that's a big concern because BPA is being leached into every single one of those foods. The other problem is that it's not like just staying away from plastics. It is also in, hold on, right here, our sodas. Because what the problem with cans these days is they line it with plastic. So that Dr. Pepper, that even though it's on a plastic container, it still contains plastic, which contains BPA, which is bad for us. So that's the big problem here, is that it is everywhere. We can't get away from it. Let's see. Try going to Walmart and not buying anything lined with plastic. It's almost impossible. Sal puts it this way. The problem with plastic is that the bonds break apart. And when they break apart and they're free from their previous bonds, BPA becomes a hormone. So this brings us right up to the problems this chemical causes to our bodies. BPA mimics the hormone estrogen. Now, we all have estrogen, men and women, and women have it more. But the problem is that a little estrogen is good. A lot of it can lead to other problems. Sal's research has led him to conclude that the amount of synthetic estrogen in our bodies is causing problems such as reproductive abnormalities, decreased infertility, early puberty in girls, ovarian cysts in women, breast cancer, low sperm count in men, and prostate cancer. What we're basically saying here is that BPA is causing cancer and other health problems. The National Institute of Environment Health Science says that based on toxicity studies in animals, BPA has effects on the brain, behavior, and prostate gland in fetuses, infants, and children. This is why it's a concern for us, because we can't get away from it, and it does affect us on a regular basis. So, how do you stay away from BPA? Well, it's not easy. But the big thing is when you take plastics, and when you heat them up, the bonds start to break faster. The other thing is not to put fatty, salty, or acidic foods in them. If you can do that, you can stay away from BPA. Now, I haven't talked about BPA much. I've just given you a quick overview, and I recommend that you do your own research. But I can guarantee you that all three of these foods have BPA in them, and we don't even know about it. Thank you.